Arkansas's #1 trusted source for weather. This is a severe weather alert.
All right, guys, we're back. And go ahead.
Well, good evening. Good evening once again, folks. It's Cameron Derrick back here once again. We have a brand new short-term tornado warning for our folks here in northern Sevier County and northern Howard County here in southwest Arkansas. Again, we talked about that area where the outflow boundary is coming through central Arkansas, but down here in southwest Arkansas, we have a very untapped atmosphere. So once again, folks, for my folks here around Derrick's, so this is gonna go for my folks here just to the north of Derrick's here. So here's Derrick's. Nashville is well north of this, so that does not include you. So again, this does not include my folks in DeQueen or Gillum. This is actually in rural areas of northern Howard County, moving off towards the northeast here at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. This is going to stay mainly over rural areas here of northern Howard County. However, that being said, again, these storms do have spun up and spun down all evening long, and this is just another one of those situations where we are dealing with one of those brief spin up type of events. Again, that being said here, it is going to be on the again. We do have a very large hail core with this storm. So again, normally you don't see the large hail core and the tornado threat run side by side. Yeah. However, that being said, this is one of those instances where we are. So once again, this on the northern side of Derrick's, just to the kind of the western parts of New Hope, again, Sevier County. You have been dropped from this one, I do believe. Nope, not yet. So again, this is still in effect here for Sevier County and Howard County. However, the main threat is over Howard County at this time. So once again, let's look at a couple of roads here. Again, this is going to be mainly over rural areas here of Howard County, but mainly along Green Road here, Liberty Hill Road. Kind of, again, if there were to be a tornado, this is where it's gonna be. Again, very tight rotation on this storm. So let's go look at our rotation strain. Now, when you look at the rotation strain, it's not quite as strong as it is on a rotation view. But once again, this is very far away from our Shreveport radar and our Little Rock radar. So once again, we have to treat this as if it's on the ground. So once again, as I mentioned, we have a tornado warning for northeastern Sevier County and northern Howard County here until 11:30. Very short-lived warning here. Let's go and look at our debris indicator. Not seeing anything in the way of debris.
What is that?
What is that?
Just southeast of the Gilham area. What is that?
Right here?
Yeah. That's nowhere near the rotation. So that might be just the radar acting weird here. I'll double check into that real quick because I was like I saw that and I was like, okay, all right, I saw that and I was like,
it looks like
yeah.
So once again, let's go back and look at our velocity here. So let's go back and look. So our velocity. Go look at our rotation strength here and back to our velocity. So again, not seeing anything significant in terms of a tornado debris signature. So that's a very good thing. Again, this is in mainly rural areas of Howard County. So that being said, we will have to watch for it to see. The real question is going to be is, does the National Weather Service Little Rock do a downstream warning on this? Again, it's over here in the Washita Mountains in southwest Arkansas, well away from both of our radar sites. So it's just something again on downstream. Cameron already has our track up over here by places like New Hope, Daisy, Black Springs, on towards Norman and Caddo Gap, if this stays warm.
Yeah, so just letting Abby know, she stays near the Glenwood area. Just kind of keep an eye on it. What's going to end up happening is there's a boundary somewhere nearby, and if the boundary undercuts the storm, we shouldn't have too big of an issue. This is a very short-term tornado warning here. I will say downstream, if the rotation does continue, they'll probably end up extending said tornado warning. Excuse me, by the way. That will include that will be, correct me if I'm wrong, one of my counties. Um, that is going to be, is that Pike?
Pike County,
Pike
yes, sir.
County, yes, sir. Pike and Montgomery County, I
Yep,
do
and on
believe.
towards
Yeah,
Hot
that's
Springs
Springs County.
County.
Yeah. See,
Maybe
even with a
even
tire
Southwest
I know my
Garland.
counties. Go ahead.
Maybe even on downstream towards Southwest Garden County. So latest scan has come in here a little bit stronger with this. So again, this is mainly over rural areas here of Howard County. But once again, Liberty Hill Road, Green Road. Let's see, on down towards Jackson Road here, and then of course a lot of deer camps over here, deer camps, hunting camps. Maybe even some fishing camps around here. Again, mainly in rural areas here
Yeah.
of Southwest Arkansas.
Yep. So, biggest thing is that's going to be just to the west and southwest of New Hope, south of Highway 8, Highway 240 over here as well. This is going to be north and northwest of Nashville. For those that are wondering, by the way, this is in Southwest Arkansas. It's Howard, Sevier counties, by the way. That's where the tornado warning is. If it gets extended, I think it's going to go for that's going to be northern Pike County, potentially into Montgomery County. We'll keep an eye on it here, but right now I'm not sure. John, I don't know if he's still with us or not because I know he has work tomorrow. So all right, Roku was still playing the last live. I know. So let me see here. So if they're planning on extending this, it'll probably be. I would assume it's probably going to be for northern Pike County. It's probably going to go to probably midnight, more than likely. And then that's going to be kind of in here. So what we're planning on doing, by the way, is probably after midnight switching over to the backup weather center. So that way we can, one, get you kind of rotating rest and stuff like that. And then two, I just don't see this being a big time tornado outbreak overnight. I'll be up during the overnight hours here. Won't bother me what
Latest scan is from the best scan I've seen.
Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
I figured as much. It's going to be one of these situations tonight where these are going to be very short-term lived tornado warnings here. It's going to be these brief weak spin ups, and then the next scan, it's gone. And that's just how it is. Okay, so right now, if you're in the New Hope area, if you're in northern Pike County, southern Montgomery County, make sure you're taking your tornado precautions here. Tornado warning is still in effect for the next 7 minutes. I'd be curious to see if they're going to extend it. Latest scan just looks, and now keep in mind this isn't Shreveport, using Shreveport's radar and also Little Rock's radar here, but the last couple of scans look a lot more impressive than the new one that just got, that just came through from New Hope area here. So we'll watch it closely. But
Cameron, I'm gonna take this back a couple scans here, just kind of, if it'll let me do it. There we go.
there you go.
So what I'm gonna do is here, you did. This is when the warning first got issued here,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's take this out a couple more scans. You can see, I would not be shocked if we did not have a brief spin up down here in northern Howard County, and then
Typically how it goes.
and
Yes,
then
sir.
as you can see, it moved further northeast, starting interacting with that boundary, and fell apart. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3 scans, and we're done.
Yeah.
So again, for my folks in northern Pike County, this is fixing to move into Pike County, Pike, and this is going to be moving towards New Hope and Glenwood over the next 30 minutes or so. Again, that being said, there is no new warning in effect yet, so that's a very good thing. But if you live in Glenwood, you most likely need to be going on and thinking about taking those precautions just in case. Even if you don't have a tornado, you will be contending with those very strong winds. And of course, our radar is even ready to go on vacation too for the year.
Yeah.
Here is our rotation strength. So the rotation strength is actually coming in a little bit stronger now.
Yeah.
As well. So it's definitely something we got to watch, especially downstream towards New Hope and Glenwood, Piercy, Hot Springs, Lonsdale, Benton, Avila, as it continues to track off towards the northeast. But again, I don't foresee this moving much past southwest Arkansas, given how fast our boundary is moving south.
Yeah, so basically what I've done is I've put a track, these rotation tracks here. First of all, I'll kind of show you guys kind of what's been going on here. So take a look at the one up here in Clinton, not Clinton County, why is that Clinton County? Clinton up here in Searcy County, excuse me. look at the rotation tracks you've had over the last couple of scans here. So that's why this is why these are tornado warning, by the way, because National Weather Service has seen these low level rotation scans on here, and they're putting a tornado warning out for each and every single one of them. So it's been a very, 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 very long evening here. We even had a couple here. As a matter of fact, what I can potentially do here is I can go out all the way to 120 minutes out from the last time we had it here, and you guys are going to see even more rotation tracks across the board here. So that's why this is 12 warning down here, because of the fact of we can zoom this down and kind of show you what's going on with that here. So we had that pretty much that rotation track through here, and I'll go back to the last 30 minutes or so here. Let me go to here. Should be coming back up here in just a second here, but yeah, it's had that rotation track all the way from the Queen all the way up to the New Hope area here. So that's something that we'll just, like I said before, we're gonna watch it closely, kind of keep an eye on things here. So let's see here. Other than that, I think I haven't seen any other. You know, the cool part about all this too, Derek, is we have not gotten any single damage reports.
Not since the ones we had in Northwest Arkansas.
Right. So what's going on is they're warning these circulations. They're touching down, they're lifting back up, and then they're gone. So this is a situation where I will have to wait and see, but I think this tornado warning is probably going to get canceled. They do have a broad severe thunderstorm warning in place, and then that's all she wrote for at least for right now here. We'll hang tight. I'll call it probably 11:40 just to be on the safe side for any other additional advisories or anything like that here. But take a look at this outflow boundary. Look, you can even see it on here. So what happened is this storm latched to the boundary just for a brief bit, and now it's behind said boundary.
Yeah.
And this boundary, if it continues to surge out kind of like this, and I'm drawing this out, as long as this boundary continues to surge out, anything behind here, even though it's going to sound tornadic, it's not going to be tornadic at all. We will have to watch out, what I will say before, is any storms that develop ahead of the boundary over here in eastern Arkansas and southeast Arkansas. But, man, I just don't think that this is going to be a big-time tornado producer on here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that later on here. So let me see.
So they went special weather statement for the line coming into Little Rock. So, just to let you know on that, winds under 50 miles per hour. That's the first time we've seen that this evening.
Yes, sir.
With this line since it moved into the central third of the state.
Yeah.
Here.
So what's going to end up happening is we're going to let this tornado warning go.
Yeah.
We're going to transition over. Give it about 10 minutes.
Yep.
Allow some shenanigans to happen if we get another warning or whatever. And then we're going to transition it back over to the 24/7 network. I want to make this clear. We're going to be transitioning from the main studio to the backup studio because it's starting to get during the overnight hours. We're letting our team rest, and then it's now starting to become clear that the tornado threat is now to a point where one person can kind of handle a 15-minute tornado warning here, guys, okay? I understand storm anxiety is going to tell you a completely different story. It's going to tell you, hey, these guys are lying. There's a significant tornado threat tonight. No, it's not. There's no significant
Your
tornado
significant threat was in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
You know, your all clear is now through Northwest Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's about picking up the pieces, you know, in Northwest Arkansas. Unfortunately, Northwest Arkansas got to experience what Northeast Arkansas has dealt with pretty much all spring long. South Arkansas, consider yourself blessed. I mean, other than, you know, maybe a tornado or two here or there, you pretty much have been scathed for the entire spring so far. So
Yeah.
hopefully we continue that into the fall.
Tornado warning's gone.
Yeah.
Tornado warning's been dropped. They even dropped a severe thunderstorm warning now. This is now starting to become what we call a special weather statement type situation. So we'll keep this going for the next 10 minutes, allow for any kind of shenanigans to happen if another warning is issued or whatnot. But I do want to kind of talk about the importance of the 24/7 network here, okay? I understand when we have any tornado warnings in Arkansas, you know, priority always will be to go live and to talk about those tornado warnings here.
Mm-hmm.
However, emergencies do happen, okay? So over the next 10 days, if there's a situation where, if we can't get your tornado warning fast enough, the 24/7 network will give you the warning. It will tell you where it is, all that other good stuff, so you don't have to worry about it, folks, okay? We're human at the end of the day. We are not robots. I beg y'all to stop looking at us like we're robots. We're not. But there's a situation where, if that happens, the 24/7 network, that's why it plays the radar during the overnight hours. That's why it has all that information. So that way, if something does happen, you're covered. Okay. So I would highly recommend, especially during the overnight hours, that you go and download our Roku channel or our Fire TV or watch us on YouTube. I think a lot of people actually fall asleep to our YouTube channel at night. So, if you need that, go ahead. But the stream is going to continue for the next, for this entire event. But it is becoming clear now, since that outflow launch is kind of surged out, that this is now transitioning more to a...
Two civilians and warnings for the whole line.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
One thing, about it is, everybody wants to know how they can help us, how they can help us grow. The one thing I want to stress on this is that, you want to help us grow. I mean, by all means, if you're a business partner, because today, and Cameron's going to post this, I think tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow. Yeah.
So one way, and this is just one of our many, that we plan to go up here over the next, Cameron?
Couple of weeks, stuff like that.
Couple months, Again, one way to help us out is this camera. It's this camera project right here.
Yep.
That's one way to help us out. Has partnered with us to get these cameras up all around the state. We have one going up at Stuttgart already, as well as Helena, of course, up here in Silent Spring. Well, as y'all saw that wall cloud today, on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Help us to really identify areas that were of concern. Help the National Weather Service in Tulsa issue those warnings today.
Yep.
Our goal is to help Jackson, is to help Shreveport, to help Little Rock, to help Memphis issue those warnings by getting one of these very beautiful cameras in all 75 counties around the state.
Mm-hmm. So, you have a business, like I've been saying this all day long. If you've got a business that is looking to invest in trying to help out the community, reach out to us. We can get these cameras set up here. We work with any kind of budget or anything like that. These aren't like $50,000 cameras. They're really inexpensive cameras that you can get, and you can use these cameras to help with the community outreach, because there's a lot of businesses out there that are trying to figure out ways on, how can we help the community? How can we, do this, do that? These sky cams are the best way to go here. So reach out to us, guys. Our email's on the page. Reach out to us. We'll get you taken care of and everything like that. We'll walk you through how the cameras work and everything like that. But that is the best way that we're going to help save more lives here in Arkansas, is these sky cams, and today proved it. We saw the wall cloud up there in Solomon Springs. Quick shout out to the Joint Forces K9 group up there. Robert, you're awesome, man. For investing in your community up there in Solomon Springs, and I encourage other businesses across the board here to invest in your community, and this is the best way you can do it.
Look, you get
all your data and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
You get all your data on there. You get everything on there. And you even get
the radar under it. Yep.
You get your radar on there, and you get your company.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. So that's the best way to kind of help back with that here there. So if you can go back over to the radar here, I think what we'll probably do is this. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can switch this over. There we go. Yep, I sure can. Now, is it going? Now the question is it going to let it? It's going to show the radar here. There we go. Yep. There we are. Awesome. So there's your overall view. I'm not sure what that one is. Let me see what's going on there. That's the hard drive gamut. Okay, so there we go. All right, so there it is right here. So pretty much this kind of goes over what to expect, what's going on across the state of Arkansas right now. Just a big old line of storms here. We're going to let this play for about the next 10 minutes, kind of hang tight. and see what's going on here. I'm gonna put on the Skycam for just a little bit. I thought I had it up. I had it up somewhere around here. Give me a second. So I think that's gonna be it. Nope, nope, nope. That is not. That is not it. Let me see. Let me see something real quickly here. I've had technical issues all day long here. So I think this is it. Yep, that's the Solid Springs one. So give me just a second here. We'll get that kind of taken care of here, and that's gonna blow up on the screen just a second. Let me see if I can stop it in time. Let me see if I can stop it in time. Come on. Okay, yep, I can. All right, cool. So there's that. I'm gonna put this down here, the bottom of your screen here. That's gonna be the Solid Springs camera. Yep. So just there it goes. So I'm gonna move this over here, so that way you guys kind of watch the radar and stuff like that. Just kind of chill with this for a little bit, and then we're not gonna call it a night because obviously we'll still be here, and if anything happens. But
one
just
thing
kinda
I
chill
want
there
to
for a little
stress
bit.
is look at this boundary moving through.
Yep.
I mean, that is that boundary is over 30, 40 miles ahead of, ahead of our main line of storms, which is something you really want to see. And what that does is that basically ends your tornado threat,
Yeah.
is what it does.
Kills it. It
kills it. You got a lot of colder air behind that. You got a lot of rain-cooled air behind it. Considering overall now, the unfortunate side of this is this boundary is going to move into Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee tomorrow,
Yeah.
and set up a potential of a very bad day for them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the classic Arkansas severe event where Oklahoma and the Plains get it, and then Dixie gets it, but Arkansas gets the remnants of what's left over.
Yeah.
This is how spring's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to, like I said, we're just kind of hanging tight for a little bit, guys. I think we can call it about what 11:45.
Yes, sir.
Just to, like I said, just kind of allow National Weather Service some more time to see if they decide to put a warning out or anything like that here. I'm gonna let this one go. This one up here, that's a tornado possible. We're gonna let that one go, and I think that's pretty much it here. But yeah, we've had a lot of people ask, about donations and how can they help get the channel going and everything like that. The biggest thing is going to be that Skycam project, guys.
Yep.
I'm calling on all businesses, especially in western and northern Arkansas here, where the radar, and especially in Southville, we got Southeast Arkansas pretty much covered.
Yep.
But western and northern Arkansas, where the radar loss zones up there, I highly recommend you guys investing in the Skycam project. Okay, we wouldn't be out here, selling it to you if we didn't think anything was going to happen, or this wasn't going to be a really beneficial thing for us here. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to get it to where there we go. So it covers that corner of the screen down there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said before, I would definitely, if it's something that you think you can do, reach out. The more we get across the state, the better we will be in terms of helping out the National Weather Service, getting warnings out quicker, and everything like that here. Okay, so other than that, I think that's pretty much it, Derek. Like I said, we're gonna let that reduction warning expire up there, and then we're gonna start to make that transition to the backup weather center, and I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll be here during the overnight hours, kind of keep an eye on things here. Just to make sure that nothing happens crazy overnight, and then John will have you guys covered tomorrow. And then after that, I think Arkansas is in pretty decent good shape here. May see some storms this weekend, but I think everything should be out to the west and into the northwest, out there in the plains and into Oklahoma and Texas. And that's where we will be, by the way. Not planning on going live or anything, but you guys will check in from time to time. And if you follow us on Twitter, we'll have some stuff on Twitter and everything like that. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. I haven't heard anything, and like I said, since the tornadoes up there in northwestern Arkansas, I ain't heard anything in terms of any damage so far or anything like that here. So we'll go from there. And I said before, we're gonna let that severe warning kind of expire, and then I think that's pretty much it here. Then we'll check a couple of things here. I'm curious about tomorrow. Just kind of talk a little bit briefly about tomorrow while we were kind of in the lull period. Looks like, let's see here. Keep an eye on a couple of things here. Looks like, hopefully we can get this pushed out of Arkansas before tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening here, because it looks like it's going to start to take off on the Mississippi River. Um, yeah, even with the newest update, look at the newest update. It's even now further to the east, across Northwest Mississippi and West Tennessee. So if we can continue to push this off, it's going to be a great day tomorrow here, across Arkansas. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm looking at some, like I said, just looking at some data moving forward here. So really haven't seen too much in the way of anything of importance. But something that we'll just have to, like I said, I'm just keeping an eye on here. So yeah. Right now, like I said before, I haven't seen too much in the way here in Arkansas. I'm just looking kind of long range right now since things are kind of a lull period. I mean, got storms out in there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's not really seeing too much here. We'll watch this weekend. Obviously, something happens up there this weekend. So what will happen is, and here's the funny part about this: if something happens this weekend, John will be here giving you guys coverage, and we will be breaking into the weather center, kind of like, chasing wise, if we're in Arkansas or we're somewhere near that area, being like, hey, giving John reports and stuff like that. But he will be taking over the live stream here, so I'll show him the ropes tomorrow, and I think he's going to do an amazing job. He does so good with the live coverage already. I think he's going to be doing great tomorrow, guys. So you guys are going to be in great hands. No need to be rude or anything like that, because me and Derek aren't here. We have a entire team. If we did have a team, we wouldn't be sitting here right now doing this. So I think that's pretty much it, Derek. I hadn't seen anything else, so I'm gonna let it go for another 3 minutes. Guess we'll just chill here, see if they're gonna put another tornado warning out. If they haven't, then I think we're gonna be set, ready to go for the rest of the night. And like I said, we'll just kind of hang tight, see what happens, and go from there. So, John, I don't know if he's still with us or not. Let me double check a couple of things here. So you can go ahead. I was gonna say.
So just to reiterate once again, it's been a spring across the state. Another way, you can help us support us, obviously, in our store as well. Also, our store, we also have a donation, link as well if you want that. Several ways, you can help us out, of course. Again, our goal is that a lot of summer projects, a lot of rebuilding, and, that way we go into the fall ready to go, and then hopefully, we have a lot of new things coming up for you as we head into the new fiscal year for us. As y'all know, our year typically ends, in July. Take July and August, kind of sit back a little bit, and then revamp for the fall every year. We're going to try to keep that momentum going, though, throughout the summer with a few things. But, again, we thank you for trusting us throughout the entire spring season. It's been a long one. It's been, I think, my first spring back in studio in about probably 5 years or so, 4 years or so, and it's been quite the
it's been
craziness.
Yeah.
But a lot of good things have happened. Our camera project going up, kind of the revamping the thing. Our brand new studio in downtown. Shout out to Firetex Arkansas ankle monitor for that. Obviously, continued support from National State Wireless as well. And if you have damage, be sure to give our folks at Whitlam and Moreland Construction a call. He's going to be quite busy over the next several weeks dealing with the
I'm going to hate to
hail.
send him the damage report tomorrow to tell him, hey, you need to go here and all that, because he's going to be crazy busy. So, I agree, Heidi. Special weather statement is something that we like to see. By the way, I want to kind of stress that too, because a lot of folks are, they see that big old box and they're like, what does that mean? So, a special weather statement is you have several, levels when it comes to severe weather. You have a special weather statement, severe thunderstorm warning, and then you have a tornado warning, then you have a tornado emergency. So special weather statement is at the bottom pole of that, at the very, very bottom of your warning list. It's more like an advisory. It's just like, hey, this is going to produce 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. It's going to sound loud, nothing major. This is what you want to see when you're forecasting severe weather, because that means that these storms are not severe. They're just, so Other than that, it looks like they have let go of that severe thunderstorm warning to Waukesha up there. So with that being said, Arkansas, we're for right now pretty much done. We are going to hang tight during the overnight hours. Obviously, if something happens, we will be here. But other than that, from myself and Derek, I think that's pretty much it.
Yep. So again, like I said, 24/7 network ongoing, Roku, Fire TV, and YouTube. And again, we thank you for joining us, trusting us right here on your source for all things Arkansas Weather.